there guys, it's Joey, and it's been a little while since we've done a video. It's been crazy busy, crazy, but I thought we would do a haul because I've got a few interesting bits and pieces, actually from, some of it's from more than a month ago, but I went to see my sister this weekend, which I love doing, and we went to the Witchy shop there and I sort of had a peruse and a browse and a shop because I let myself buy quite a few bits when I go there because I don't get to go there very often. So I thought, you know, let's throw everything in one large video of all the bits and pieces which are kind of a witchy haul, and there's some makeup-y bits and the rest of it is more witchy. So we'll start with the makeup-y bits. At least two of them are kind of a little bit witchy in theme. The other bits are, oh no, maybe three. But the other bits are kind of in keeping with kind of animal values, vegan and or animal cruelty free. There's one that we need to talk about. But so we're going to start with some makeup-y bits, and if you don't care and you'd rather just see the witchy bits, you can skip a little bit to the front. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is this. So if you have been following me on Instagram or possibly Twitter or Facebook, you little stalker you, I see you, then you know that I've had this thing recently for Korean beauty products. I got these amazing Tony Moly lip balms, which are slightly pigmented and they smell gorgeous, and I got the whole set on the cheap. Compared to if you buy them individually. I got the whole set for 25 and they're individually 10 each, and I was like, 25 this way for the whole, and they're gorgeous. Anyway, so I didn't even think to bring them on video. So the second thing I got was kind of this, it looks a bit like a cauldron, which is kind of why I love it, and it's by Druid House, which is a Korean brand. Now I wanted the pink one and I couldn't get the pink one, but I found this one in England on eBay, and I was like, come to mama. And this has happened twice because this is an older product, as is one of the others, which I'll show you in a minute. And it's actually a highlighter, and it has like a little poof, a little ladylike poof in there. And the highlight is really pretty. You're not going to be able to see it all, but it's got like a pink shimmer. No, you can't see it all because of the lighting, because I don't do makeup stuff for a living, so I don't have the lighting for that. But it's really pretty. But the reason that I wanted it is because it looks like a little cauldron, and it sits on my thing over there, and it pleases me greatly. Although I do really love the kind of very fine pink shimmery highlight in there, so that's cool. And the second thing, which is very in keeping with the theme because it's an older product, but it's something that I wanted when it came out, but I could not afford it at the time. What I wanted at the time was MAC's Venomous Villains Maleficent She Who Dares, and I got it off eBay again in England, and that's what the... Now I do really like the shade, which I won't put on my hand because it's really dark, but I really loved the Maleficent packaging, which I will keep long after the eyeshadow is gone. So I wanted one of these at the time when they came out. Now I think they came out in 2010, maybe even before then, and like a long time ago, and I always regretted not getting one, so now I have one. And right, the next thing I bought was from Debenhams, who stock Too Faced. Now Too Faced is, or was, a brand that has got largely vegan products, and they were completely 100% animal cruelty free at the time of purchase. Since the time of purchase, they've actually sold out to Estee Lauder, who is not animal cruelty free, which is a buzzkill for me because I really want the Unicorn Tears lippy by them, which is kind of a blue iridescent, but I found a replacement, which I'll show you guys in a minute, which if you're on Facebook, you've seen. They've got some gorgeous packaging, and it's a real shame because I bought Sugar Daddy. And this is, you know, it's a nice packaging, and it's lovely. It's a beautiful colour. It goes on so creamy, because this is actually the Too Faced La Creme Colour Drenched Lipstick, colour intensive. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous product. I would have happily like bought them, more of them, and you know, from Debenhams they're not, the shipping's not too bad. I might have even considered saving up and forking out for the from America for the unicorn thing, and then they went and they're not animal cruelty free anymore, and it's a bit, it's Body Shop all over again. It's just disappointing. But what I did say that I found House of Beauty on, I think the shop is, it's Hooked Up Style or something online in the UK, and it's a very, very small pot, and I don't think you're going to be able to see. It looks a kind of cream colour, but it basically goes on for like a unicorn shine, is like the unicorn lips. Again, if you're on Facebook, I've got it on my lips on there, so you can go have a look at that. And the last two makeup products are Barry M. So Barry M have a new On Point Black Waterproof Precision eyeliner. So I went to go buy a new eyeliner from like in store, and you can buy it in store in Boots, and to be honest I can get it in Tesco in my, so you know, Barry M, they're really, really great. They're cruelty free, they're vegan, and they're UK based, and the eyeliners are gone. The thick pink pen with the eyeliner, and I was like, they're nowhere. So I went online, and this is new, and this is a much finer thin point black eyeliner, so not incredibly interesting to look at, but you know, if you're looking for one. And last but not least is the Bold Purple Waterproof eyeliner from Barry M, which I have down here and there. I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but I do have it. It's kind of like a purple, sparkly, very soft, very smooth, went on very nicely. I might invest in some of their other colours because that went on really well. Okay, so that's the makeup portion over. Everybody who doesn't care about makeup can breathe a sigh of relief. So I have purchased a few different things. I've bought a few bits from Inwood. Should we do them first? Let's do them first. So, and they sent me this gorgeous Yule card. How lovely is that of them? Ooh. And that's their thing. Please focus so everyone in the world can see them. Now, I mentioned Inwood on a few occasions. I mentioned it in my interview with Mr. Witchy Bear. Inwood are on Etsy. I think they're in the process of setting up their own site. They're one of the very few witch sites that I will personally purchase from, because their stuff is the bomb. They make some incredible goodness, and I love, like, they do these poppets, and they do charms and amulets, and they sometimes have things with crow feathers in, and even, you know, crow feet, depending on where you're on the line with that sort of thing. And it's all naturally sourced, and they're in Wales, I believe, and it's got a good energy to it. So I bought a few bits. I thought I would try their Druid Incense. Incense to conjure the ancient groves of druids. I think it's got mistletoe in it. I think. Oh, right. So that's what it looks like. Now, I can hear the cries now, like, Joe, you make your own incenses and you've bought one. And I'm like, yeah, because it's Inwood and I trust them. And I was interested to have a druidic themed energy. And I believe they're druidic in their practice, which I might be, you know, I'm more Celtic witch leaning, but I believe they are druidic in their leanings, and I just really fancy trying it. Sometimes you want to try other people's stuff, and it smells so earthy, so good, and they come in the little pots. And then I got some hollybark from them. Now, technically hollybark I could get myself, but, and this is a big but, the main source of holly near me is very, very close to somebody's garden. Like very, I was eyeing it the other day, like I might get in trouble. So I was like, oh, and I just sort of bolstered my basket up a bit with this, so it was kind of like an impulse purchase. But holly, tin, ogom, I'm sorry, still correcting myself with that, and is wonderful for Yule time or winter solstice time. Alben Arthur, I know it's to do with Arthur in the Druidic, and Alfan maybe. Sorry, completely distracted myself. So holly and tin is wonderful at this time of the year where the holly king takes over if you follow your traditional pagan law. But for me, I really enjoy the idea of the embrace between holly and ivy, and I actually did a whole spell set, which is now available until Yule, on the store, about this embrace between the holly and the ivy, and the masculine and the feminine coming together. And I have access to a lot of ivy, so which is great. I freaking love ivy. So I really wanted some holly to kind of work in together. So holly has kind of a masculine energy vibe to it, mostly. Sometimes you get plants which feel a little more feminine with their devas, plant spirit. And it's very warrior-esque in its energies. It's very protective, very much about overcoming boundaries. It's a very... well, it's prickly, like holly is prickly, and it is a sort of blood and a sacrifice and a determination and a very stoic energy to it. Yeah, let's move on because otherwise we'll be here all day. And the last two things I got were blackthorn leaf and slow blackthorn berries. So, as I have told people who come and ask me, or you know, I go on regularly, me being able to find blackthorn locally is for some reason a nightmare. I can get hawthorn up the wazoo. Blackthorn, nope. Like hawthorn, I can see it walking down the street, I can see it walking down people's bushes, I can go out to the hedgerows, it's on both sides and down there. There's literally, I could probably, you know, I could probably start my own hawthorn farm if I wanted to. Blackthorn, nowhere to be seen. So because I trust Witchy Wood, and they had slows which are a pain in the bum to get hold of, I was like, yes please, come to mama. Oh, come to mama, you're so beautiful. Oh, I love blackthorn. Blackthorn is one of my absolute favourite trees. A lot of people are quite afraid of it. It's a bit like the death card in tarot, or because blackthorn in OM is all about obstacles and difficulties and hardships and turmoil and oh no. But for me, it's all about overcoming those things. It's even more warrior-esque. It's Morrigan-esque, and I love it. I love you. So I got some of those, and I can't remember where I got the next thing from. I've forgotten what the shop is, but I'm not going to recommend them anyway, and I'll tell you why in a moment. So I got a few of these. These are actually pipettes, and they are skulls. Now I got them, they're from an American company, and I do really love the skull pipette. Now I'm actually going to have some Blade Over Shield oil in here, which is my Morrigan protection oil, and I'm going to be like drippy drippy, or maybe for like drippy drippy on the Morrigan's statue, and then, you know, and I do really like the product. What I don't like is that the company waited a month to ship these. It's an American company, bear in mind. And after a month I was like, and I'd been complaining, I was like, right, fine, cancel it because I've had enough. It's been a month and you haven't even shipped it. Oh, suddenly we've shipped it. And it arrived 2 weeks later from China, expedited, obviously. And I was like, at that point I was so cross, I just wanted my money back. I didn't, you know, and I'd created a dispute on PayPal because it had been over a month and they weren't getting back to me. So then I had to cancel the dispute because I technically got the product, even though at that point I wanted a refund, and they kind of just refused to have any more conversation with me because, you know, oh well, sorry it took so long, but you know, you've had the product tough. And I was like, yeah, you're not getting any money off me ever again. And this is something I could have bought a lot more of. So I like the thing. I don't like the service. I thought the service was terrible. Next is our freebie. I say freebie, bro. A gift from the universe. And look at this beauty. Can you see the green shimmer? What's this, guys? This is a black goose feather. Yeah, baby. So on the local village green, there were these incredibly large, very dark black geese. And I keep looking at them every time I go down there thinking, their feathers are amazing. They had this beautiful green shimmer through, and I was like, that's amazing, that's gorgeous. And I'm kind of like eyeing them like, give me a feather, just one. Anyway, so I went down the village green, chased a I went down the village green, and there was a feather yesterday on the ground, and I beelined for it. I was like, there's this one on the ground, there's one on the ground, there's one on the ground with a green. Geese as a totem or an energy are very strong in their community, and they're strong protectors. They protect their young like nobody's business. They're also wonderful for traveling and enduring long flights, so that kind of energy for goose. So I just love that green. It might actually be part and parcel of my Yule altar, which is in progress, and we will make a video before Yule, hopefully. There is one item here which I will probably show next. Yeah, I'll show that next. Along with the freebies that came with all those. Oh, there we go. Right, so this was another thing which I absolutely adore. I had problems with customs. So they put the value that's quite high on this little item. I ended up paying £15 extra in customs for this, which I am not pleased about. I love the item, and unfortunately, and again, it's one of these companies where I would have bought more from them, but now I'm not going to, because I'm not going to pay an extra £15 customs just because you couldn't have put the customs at like £15 or something on the parcel, and given what it is, I'm guessing that's around what it would cost to make. Right, so it's from Nyx Turner on Etsy. It's an absolutely gorgeous pyrographed altar tile on silver birch, and it's called Lunar Roots, and depending on how you look at it, you can either have it this way around or this way around. Now technically it's roots, so I would have gone this way. And the pyrography, I don't know if you can tell, is actually 3D, so it's actually into the wood, like carved into the wood, as are the roots. The roots are also carved into the plaque itself. I'm going to have some different bits and pieces to do with silver birch as part of the lower working part of the altar for winter solstice, which I will explain on that video. But this, I love it. Now I would have happily bought some different versions from this lady, because I think it's incredible work, incredibly beautiful work. I'm not paying £15 each time I want to buy something, because that's crazy. It did come with some free printy bits. Two of them are technically the same. They are her business cards. So there you go. And they have, is it a gust of wind? Yeah, a gust of wind, and the moon symbols, and a sword. Again, you could probably go that way as well, although the writing's down that way. But that's very tarot-esque, so I'm going to be keeping those. And then she actually sent me two cards, which she does have in her shop, which she does charge for, I believe, normally. So there's this one. Again, this might be part and parcel of the winter solstice altar. And then there's this one. These were both free with my altar tile, which is absolutely amazing. I love the images, all of them, but you know, these two in particular. And so in terms of the shop, I thought that was amazing. It was just being slapped with, you know, it's not a cheap altar tile, and I was happy to pay a little bit more because I was so in love with it and there were so few of them. So when you get slapped for an extra £15, you're like, it's been a bit like that this month though, with postage and things. So the next item, I told you it's been 2 months worth of shopping. The next item was a pre-ordered book. Now I'm actually going to make a video straight after this video about this whole book. We're going to talk about it properly, so I'm not going to talk about it much here. But this is by Corinne Boyer. It is Under the Witching Tree. Now this is from Troy Books. This is the first in a trilogy of books about plants, and this one is specifically about trees, and trees are my great love in the practice. It's a very hedge witchy book, and I will get more into that in the video, all about this book. So, last but not least, are we okay now, camera? I went to the pagan shop in Nottinghamshire, from where I am born and raised, where my family, my sister and my nephew still reside, and I went to the Mystic Moon. So, there's a couple of large purchase items. Now the first one I paid a bit more for, because in England getting hold of these is a nightmare. So I got one of the reversible glass jars, and as you can see, it's £13.49 in England. These are probably a few dollars in America. Getting these in England, nightmare. And so you're like, Joe, you got ripped off for that candle. I know it's more than most people would want to pay for it. I've paid that much for it because then I have the jar, and once I have used this for reversal work, for, you know, bye-bye 2016 reversal work, then I have the jar and I can refill it myself, and I can use it for my own purposes. So then I have the jar, so that's what that's for. And then I also got one of these gorgeous triple beeswax candles. This one is Shadow Weaver, Vision Quest, Deep Meditation, Crone Magic, Uncrossing, Contact with Spirit, Shadow Magic, Banishing Negative Thoughts and Emotions, etc. And I have had these on altars in times gone by, and this is actually going to be part and parcel again of particular work for the winter solstice. Bye-bye 2016, basically. There's a lot of that. There's a theme. Oh, right, and they also had some of this, just Black Destroyer powder. Legittimo Pulver Negro Destructor. Is it actually Spanish or Mexican, possibly? It's in Spanish, I think, on the back. It's not in English. So Black Destroyer powder is basically destroying negative funk, negative magic, negative people, negative ick. It's just destroyer, and the powder is really, really quite potent. And I really fancied trying some that was from Mexico or Spain. So I fancied trying it, so we thought we would. And I got some black Narcissus, little oil. It brings a calmness and peace. And their Damnation oil, which is powerful defense. Damnation makes it sound a little bit negative, but it's very much about damning negative spell work. So I got 2 of those little oils to try. And then the rest are herby herbs and such. So I'll try and remember what they're all for. I actually got a big chunk of sulfur. Again, this is aggressive work, very much for getting rid at the end of 2016. It's a very powerful, sort of attacks all the negative and nasty. I got some of their Intoxicating Mint because I was intrigued to see why it's intoxicating. Mint is generally used for kind of like a calmness and sometimes money and things like that. They had some Getaway Root. That's more, a lot of their stock is a lot more hoodoo for whatever reason, which I don't get to try very often, so I thought I'd try it. Some Devil Shoestring. I think Devil Shoestring tends to be more like a money thing, new opportunity thing. Again, I think you can use it in like clearing and getting rid of crap. I will check because it is more of a hoodoo thing. I've got a feeling it was mainly, yeah, protection, good luck, money. Yeah, I knew what I was on about, good. Right, okay, then I got some elderberries. Now I got these because they were locally handpicked. As you can probably see, they're still very much on the elder bark there. And I was like, oh, goodness, from where I used to live. That's kind of cool. So I got some homegrown elderberries. Elderberries are for the goddess. I kind of feel of them as being a little bit crone-esque, a little bit deathworld, a little bit underworld, a little bit endings and beginnings, a little bit celebration of the divine feminine. You can work it obviously alongside elder energies as well, which kind of follow that theme. And I love elderberry. Again, winter solstice. Winter solstice. I got a little bit of hearties. Hearties. Really, really good for depression. Really good for like when the nights are drawing in, when it's getting a bit awful and icky and horrible, and yeah, hearties is great for that. Oh, I got some white lotus flower. Oh, Lilith, basically. I always think of white lotuses and lotus in general in my practice as being very Lilith orientated, dark goddess orientated, if not Lilith in particular. It's about finding the light in the darkness, finding the good in the negative situation, rising above the muck of 2016. Told you there was a theme. Amber seeds. I have no idea what amber seeds are for. So let's have a look. I have never used them before, so I wanted to try them. Yes, tell me what amber seeds are for. Is it just going to be the same as amber? Yeah. Immortality. I think that's more the crystal than this though, surely. Okay, tell me about the incense amber then. Love, comfort, happiness and healing. Then we have some white willow bark. Willow or sail. I was just listening to AWOL Nation, so that's in my head now. Sail! Anyway, healing, the wise woman, the relationship between water and earth, emotional healing, a groundedness when emotional situations run high. I love it for healing though, for all. And then I got some galangal root and some osha root. Again, I don't know about osha root. Again, it's more of a hoodoo thing. Come on, just... I don't want healing. I just want magical properties, please. Used as a talisman to potentiate the contents of a medicine pouch. Good cleansing herb used prior to ceremony or ritual. So there you go. And then galangal, I should know, but my brain is like, meh. Nurtures the fire within, it burns away wishy-washy thoughts and of everyday's affairs and is an excellent concentration aid to focus your intentions. Clarity of vision, focusing visualization, an excellent aphrodisiac that may be useful in sex magic. I thought so, I thought that's what that dirty root was for. And last but not least for this particular haul, we're at the end. They actually had some powdered snakeskin. And I'm going to be using it for transformation. You can use it for all sorts of things, but for me personally, I feel like it's good for, again, for the winter solstice, for shedding of the old, moving on to the new, and embracing better things to come. So there's quite a few herbs for that, and that's a lot of what the shopping has actually been for, at least the more recent stuff, but I kind of thought we would all do it in one big video going forward. Right, so I shall finish up this video. I shall record the video about the book Under the Witching Tree, and many blessings.